Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learn English with Podcasts. I'm Facha, and today I'll share a personal story about growing up in a small town. Growing up in a small town can be a unique experience. Life tends to be quieter, people know each other, and traditions are deeply rooted in the culture. It's a place where everyone's connected and life moves at a slower pace. In this episode, I'll walk you through my memories of growing up in a small town. Along the way, I'll introduce useful vocabulary and phrases to help you improve your English. Let's get started. Scene 1, my hometown. I grew up in a small town called Ban Na, nestled between rolling hills and rice fields. It was a quiet, peaceful place where life followed a simple rhythm. The town had a population of around 3,000 people. Everyone knew each other, and it was common to greet people by name when you passed them on the street. Mornings in Bana were my favorite time of day. I would wake up to the sound of roosters crowing and the soft hum of farmers getting ready to work in the fields. My house was a small wooden structure with a thatched roof. We didn't have much, but it was cozy and full of love. Our town's main road was lined with small shops, a local market, and a single school. We didn't have big shopping malls or fancy restaurants, but we had a strong sense of community. Vocabulary from scene 1, nestled, situated in a sheltered or peaceful place. Example, the village was nestled between the hills. Rolling hills, a gently rising and falling land. Example, the town was surrounded by rolling hills. Population, the number of people living in a place. Example, the population of the town was 3,000. Thatched roof, a roof made from straw or dried plants. Example, our house had a thatched roof. Community, a group of people living in the same place or sharing a common interest. Example, our community was very close knit. Scene 2, life in a farming town. Ban Na was a farming town. Most of the families in our village made a living by growing rice, vegetables, and fruit. My father was a rice farmer. Every morning, he would wake up before sunrise, put on his straw hat, and walk to the fields. He worked hard under the hot sun, planting and harvesting rice. I often helped my father during the weekends. I would carry a small basket and help him gather the ripe stalks of rice. After a long day in the fields, we would sit under the shade of a big mango tree, drinking cool water from a clay jar. My father would say, Facha, hard work is important, but you must also appreciate the simple things in life. The smell of fresh cut grass and the sound of insects buzzing in the fields are memories I'll never forget. Vocabulary from scene 2, harvest, to gather crops from the fields. Example, we harvested the rice before the rainy season. Stalk, the main stem of a plant. Example, the rice stalks were golden and ready to be cut. Clay jar, a container made of baked earth used for holding water or food. Example, we drank water from a clay jar to stay cool. Buzzing, the sound made by flying insects. Example, bees were buzzing around the flowers. Appreciate, to recognize the value of something. Example, my father taught me to appreciate simple things. Scene 3, school days. Our town had only one school, Bana Primary School. It was a small building with 4 classrooms, a playground, and a vegetable garden that the students helped maintain. Every morning, my friends and I would walk to school together. Some of us didn't have shoes, but it didn't matter. We laughed and played on the way. Our teacher, Mr. Sumchai, was strict but kind. He taught us not only math and science, but also important life lessons about respect and honesty. I remember one day when I forgot to do my homework. I was scared that Mr. Sumchai would punish me, but instead, gotcha, it's important to take responsibility for your actions. That lesson stayed with me for life. Vocabulary from scene 3, primary school, a school for young children, usually between ages 5 and 12. Example, I attended Banna Primary School. Playground, an area where children can play. Example, we played soccer on the playground. Strict, demanding that rules be followed. Example, Mr. Sumchai was strict but fair. Punish to make someone suffer for breaking a rule. Example, he punished students who cheated on exams. Responsibility, being accountable for your actions. Example, taking responsibility is an important life lesson. Scene 4, festivals and traditions. Our town was small, but we celebrated big. The biggest event of the year was the Songkran Festival, the Thai New Year. During Songkran, the streets were filled with people throwing water at each other. It was a way to wash away bad luck and start the new year fresh. I loved helping my grandmother prepare sticky rice and mango for the festival. We would visit the temple in the morning and then join the water fight in the afternoon. In the evening, we would light paper lanterns and watch them float into the sky. It was magical. Vocabulary from scene 4, festival, a special event or celebration. Example, the Songkran Festival is the biggest event of the year. Lantern, a light source inside a paper or metal frame. Example, we released lanterns into the sky. Sticky rice, a type of rice that sticks together when cooked. Example, sticky rice and mango is a popular Thai dessert. Temple, a place of worship in some religions. Example, we visited the temple to pray, wash away, to remove or cleanse something. Example, throwing water during Songkran is meant to wash away bad luck. Scene 5, moving away. When I was 18, I left Banna to attend university in the city. It was difficult to leave behind the life I had known. The city was loud and crowded, and I missed the simplicity of small town life. But every time I visit Banna, I'm reminded of where I came from, the people, the traditions, and the values I learned there shaped who I am today. Whenever I feel stressed, I close my eyes and imagine the sound of the river, the smell of fresh rice, and the warmth of my grandmother's smile. Vocabulary from scene 5. Crowded, full of people. Example, the city streets were crowded. Simplicity, this state of being simple or easy to understand. Example, I miss the simplicity of life in Banna. Shape, to influence or create the form of something. Example, my childhood shaped who I am today. Values, the principles or standards that guide behavior. Example, I learned important values from my family. Stress, mental or emotional pressure. Example, thinking about home helps me relieve stress. That's the story of growing up in a small town. I hope you learned useful vocabulary and gained a deeper understanding of small town life. Don't forget to subscribe to Learn English with this podcast. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.